What an episode, guys!
Oh my god!
As you can see,
so here's what I'm gonna do. And fuck the intro. First of all, I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys can give both your opinions because I'm not in a place right now where I can comment without getting like really heated. So
I'm gonna get heated. As you can see, I've changed my name. It's I think it's been Drea Fan for like the past couple of episodes. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can be a Drea Fan anymore. You know, it's kind of hard. Yeah, I don't. And the thing that makes me most mad is that Drea voted for Chanel. It's like, dude, I honestly, I don't know if that could have just been like gameplay and she was trying to use a race. I'm not sure because she voted for Chanel. She's either a huge hypocrite or she just tried to use people's emotions, as Marianne would say, to get people to not vote for her. And then Marianne later tried to say it's not a race thing when they both made it a race thing.
Yeah, it's not a race thing, but
and then on top of that, she gets mad at Jonathan for bringing race into it when they started. She's like, no. You know what it was? Is they like said, oh, it's so difficult because we like get, it's so difficult because then it turns into a race thing. You made it a race thing. That's the point. That's Jonathan's the whole point is that you meet. Well, they act like Jonathan brought race and then like forced them to get racial. No, you did it. And then Jonathan called. Okay, go.
I feel like Jonathan just wanted to drop it. I don't think that's why he wanted to bring any further because he kind of saw that how things were going.
Yeah, he's in a no-win situation.
Yeah, and and good for him for bringing it up though. Like I like that.
Oh yeah, he had way more balls than Xander being like, "Oh,
so
I'm an
much
ally.
Respect for him because if I'm there, I guess I'm black, so I kind of have points where they're like,
if you were white,
I like could I guess be a little based, and Jeff wouldn't be able to say anything. But I would probably just put my head down. I wouldn't say anything, so I could like maintain the respect and not pull like a Xander, but also not do what Jonathan did, which I think is in the end not a smart move in the game, but a very respectable thing to do outside of the game. I was very proud of Jonathan. I mean, like that's such a terrible spot to be in. And his opinion, he knows is going to lose him jury votes, even though he's probably not going to get to the end. But if he did, like that, he's now probably lost two jury votes.
If everyone's buying into the race thing, though, he has no chance of winning anyway.
Right. So I think for me, as terrible of a move that was for the game, I think he should have kept his mouth shut and just stayed right in the corner and said nothing, like Lindsay did. I have so much respect for him based off his thing. Go ahead. I want you guys to get completely done, and I'm going to go on my rant for a few minutes.
Dude, like, I'm glad he said that. He was basically like saying that, so you're trying to tell me I'm racist? I'm like, no, we're not, Jonathan. But like, that is what they're trying to do. It's like, honestly, like, I think Marianne might have been less aware of it because she's an idiot. But I feel like Drea is very well aware that she like put these people in this situation where either you're gonna look like a racist to people, or you don't vote me out. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think Drea might have also just like actually thought that, but I think she more willingly knew that, and it just kind of pisses me off that we got to this point where like people are just gonna try to bring up the race card. It's like Drea, you voted for Chanel, you had a chance, and there not being 2 black jurors, but no, you voted for a black person, so you're racist. And it's like, I mean, I can't list the times of how many like white people got voted out and like in a row, and it's like no one's ever talked about that because like it doesn't matter, you know. Like there's a reason why Dre got voted out. She's untrustworthy. There's a reason why Rocksroy got voted out because he was one untrustworthy and one like you're trying to do his own thing. And like they don't even know the situation on why Rocksroy got voted out, and they're trying to blame it on this. It's subconscious, you know, racism or whatever. It's just
It made all the sense in the world to vote Drea out. She put herself in this spot where everyone knows she has at least an idol. Little do they know she has a lot more. She's the perfect person for them to take out right here. And this is something Dre would do. She's a ruthless player, right? She's bringing up
very smart move by Drea.
It's all strategy.
I think it's strategy. I think Marianne, it's not strategy, but
yeah, no,
yeah,
I agree. I think Marianne genuinely actually agrees with
one
this
of my
stuff.
sisters.
I mean, she said that her biggest fear about playing Survivor was that she wouldn't be an activist. Basically, is what she said. Are you kidding her? Your biggest fear isn't getting voted out. It's not, not winning. It's not being a GOAT. It's not being a social outcast. It's not getting canceled on Twitter. It's not being an activist. Not standing up. What?
Omar and Hai are not going to get blamed for voting Rocksroy out because of race, right?
Right.
Yeah, because
they didn't bring it up there
because it wasn't part of the thing, you know.
But it's got to be, when Tori and then Jonathan are voting,
go ahead. Just
now, whenever you vote out a black person, you are racist. You cannot vote out any black people ever.
But the woke people on Twitter love it. It's not just that it was a race thing brought up. It's also Jonathan and Tori at the center of this. And they hate them.
All right, you guys good? Before I get in my...
You go for it.
Okay, so first thing I want to point out is the fact that I know that on Twitter... it's going to be a bunch of people saying, who are on Marianne and Drea's side. And this is why we have 52 people watching right now, concurrently watching right now, because although they may think that they have this tight majority over the Survivor super fandom base, no, people don't think like that. People don't think like Drea and Marianne. And it really is. It's not just people. It's specifically black people. Not all black people think like they're like, no one thinks, oh, I'm gonna get voted out. It's all because of my race. And I see Chanel and Rocksroy, 2 terrible players on the jury, and I feel targeted. And if I were to vote Drea, I would be perpetuating a pattern. What? That makes no sense. It makes 0 sense. There's patterns all over. That's the entirety of math. It's literally the entirety of math. How is it that when there's a pattern, specifically of race, that it's in any way problematic of you to vote someone out? It makes no sense. In fact, it's literally looking specifically at race. You're trying to look at race as much as you possibly can. And to me, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And there's like people who are like, oh, like, but yeah, I agree it's over the top, but like, who cares? Just like, let them do their thing. And I get that perspective in that way of thinking, but eventually it's going to get to a point where podcasts like this cannot happen without, us getting, just flabbergasted. I feel like, to me, it's like you have to fight to an extent for what you believe in. I think Jonathan is a perfect example. Jonathan, that was props, Jonathan, because he just ruined his game, I think. And
his game was already over. It was over.
But I think he really, really like sealed his game, because now they're going to go back and tell Hai and Omar, who are going to eat that shit up. I think it was a terrible move game-wise, but an amazing move human-wise. I have tons of respect for Jonathan. And as much as I don't want to, do player interviews, like I said last season, if we can get Jonathan, we'll get Jonathan for this season. I'll make an exception, because, geez, man, I mean, that's like a baller move to call it out. Like, no one ever calls like the woke stuff out, because it's stupid, because it doesn't really make sense for, like for tribal and doing it publicly in front of a jury. But Jonathan, definitely tons of respect there. Going back to the original point. So it starts, okay, why don't you guys like tell me how it starts, and I'll just comment on each individual escalation there. So it starts with what?
Wait, what? Are we talking about tribal?
Yeah, like, okay,
how
does Drea, the race stuff start?
I think Drea, it starts with her. She's, I'm going to play an idol. I'm like, cool.
Okay. Okay.
And then she's like, because
Smart.
I'm like, oh no, because I've seen that there's 2 black people, which one of them I voted for, but that's not important. Which and it's a pattern, you know, and you don't think about it because you're just internally racist, Jonathan. Okay, and it's like, shut up. Like, hold up. Actually, I need to change my name.
Okay. So after she says she's gonna play her idol, and she seems like very, very like angry about it. So she says, "Oh, I'm gonna play my idol like 100,000%." And I really have to recalculate my game. I like that. You're like being honest. It looks great in front of a jury as well, especially of people who are at least on your side somewhat. I think the biggest thing for me is that after that, she says, you know, it's always when, you know, black people get voted out back to back. When? Give me one example in the entirety, in the 500, 600 plus players in Survivor history. Give me an example. Give me any example. In fact, I'm sure you can find one or two, but
there's definitely been a time where 2 black people got voted out.
Oh, totally.
Back to
But I'm talking about this lie that she's perpetuating, that they're being systematically voted out and it just being pecked off the line. Like, that's just not the case. It's just not the case, period. And so for her to even start this is hilarious to me. But then she continues and she doubles down. Then Jonathan gets involved, and as soon as he starts like this is something that like these social justice warriors
Once
do.
you start speaking facts.
As soon as you start speaking facts and bringing up actual evidence, they start crying and getting emotional and yelling and double teaming on you. They can't back up their own thought processes. The biggest thing about opinion, and the reason why
is you need to back them up.
the biggest thing about opinion, and the reason why free speech is so important is because you need to rationalize your opinion. If you can't back up your opinion is useless. And I think that's the biggest thing here, is that Jonathan brings up a fact saying that you are making it about race, bring race into it, and you're essentially calling me racist, which they did. And then instead of bringing up a counter argument or a counter fact, or even just not saying anything, they yell at him. They say, you don't get it, Jonathan. They play the victim. They say, Jonathan, it's because of unconscious bias. Well, really? Oh, that's a very convenient.
Yeah, you just don't know that you're racist. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, but and I have the authority to tell you that you're racist, you know, because I'm.
Jonathan's like, why? Yeah. She's like, well, you just wouldn't get it. It's like, that's not a reason. That's not a reason. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. As much as it may hurt your feelings, that's not a reason. Give him an actual reason. Like, rationalize your opinion. Don't start crying. Like, literally, as soon as Jonathan started talking, they immediately started bawling their eyes out. Both of them. Now, Drea, respect, I guess, on a game level, because it is a very smart move for.
I don't respect it though.
Well, as a player, I think it's a good move. You're right. Respect isn't the word. Marianne, I think that was all emotional for her, because that's all Marianne does. But as far as like what they do, as soon as Jonathan brings up an argument, which I'm sure is so foreign to them that they couldn't possibly recognize one if it slapped them across the face. As soon as he starts to argue with them, it's immediate tears, crocodile tears.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo.
How dare Jonathan?
How dare you speak a fact?
Shut up.
How dare he defend himself from being called a racist? This is like everyone on.
How dare you?
There's even past survivors already calling out like, oh, how dare the guy with the white guy with dreads defend himself? Like,
I don't know. I just said,
Gabby,
want to explain her vote from
I said jokingly, I mean, I've been posting on my community tab. So I don't really use Twitter. I use my community tab as my Twitter, so you guys can know what I'm feeling in the moment. But I posted on my community tab a bunch of things in this roller coaster of emotions. And to me, it's silly. I mean, I posted here, I said, bro, what the fuck? Who cares about 2 black people, 3 black people in a row? How is voting out a target a perpetual problem? And why is Jonathan getting yelled at for calling out how stupid that is? And it's true. This is stupid. And then on top of that, it's stupid that somebody's getting in trouble for calling out how stupid that is. It's a dumb argument. And it shows because they literally can't rationalize it. As soon as they're asked to rationalize their point, they start literally sobbing, not like getting emotional, not like, no, like screaming and sobbing and double teaming Jonathan. You cannot win.
That's how the woke wins. You have to be the victim.
You cannot win with
correct
that.
me. You're the big white man. I'm the small black female. You can't contradict me.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. Jonathan's in a no-win situation. like Lindsay. I know some people say like Lindsay handled that well. No, she didn't. She did the Xander thing of I'm a giant cuck. She could easily went home tonight just because she gave into this whole freaking shit. It's so. I was hoping
Oh,
Lindsay
God.
went home.
I know. I was
Lindsay
sad.
played right into it.
Lindsay was smart though, because she did start out saying, I don't really get it. But then
No, that's
was
the
smart.
whole like Heather bullcrap.
No, I know. But in the game, that was very smart, because she still at least didn't like be like, oh, you're so eloquent. She at least gave some sort of resistance. But then she turned back around and said, but I really, really respect it. Very, very, very smart within the game. Not very respectable as a person and as a political commentator, which I guess is what the players are now. They're just CNN and Fox News. What's the word?
John is basic news.
I mean, it's not Fox News at all. I don't know where the Fox was.
Yeah.
It's all CNN.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't even Jonathan isn't Fox News.
Jonathan
he's
doesn't
basic
get
news.
uplifting music when he says I'm not racist, but Marianne gets uplifting music when she talks about how hard it is to be a
Check the
black
Discord,
person.
guys, because
on
I just
Survivor.
got a message from
Someone's
a fellow
fighting
Survivor
from the-
YouTuber who I won't name.
Yeah, he's fighting in the trenches with us, dude. He's in the
Yeah.
So to speak.
Wow. Okay. Let's like back this up.
No, the episode doesn't matter. None of that. Everything's
Yeah.
bullshit.
You know what? Honestly,
I really don't care about talking about anything
The episode
else.
doesn't even happen in the episode. Like,
So, okay, let's like try to understand their argument, because I think a big part of dismantling a stupid argument is just like vocalizing it, actually saying it out loud. Drea and Marianne are mad at Jonathan and Lindsay and Tori for trying to. Well, really, it's Drea are mad at them for targeting her. Understandable. She says that there's a pattern going on the jury and will soon be her as well, and that's problematic. I don't know. That's where it cuts off. Then she gets mad at Jonathan for saying, why are you making it about a race? No one brought race into this. Absolutely nobody. And then their response to that is not, well, actually, Jonathan, here's why. Oh, actually, Jonathan, here's my argument. No. Their response is, Jonathan, it's actually like this invisible racism. You just can't see it, Jonathan. It's actually like invisible ink, but instead of ink, it's societal hierarchies.
Oh my God, it's so dumb, because they're like, hey, you have to think of this, because we're telling you that you have no say in the matter. We can't, even though we can't see inside your head, we're telling you that you're racist, and since we're another race, we get to tell you that you're that, and you just have to believe us. It's like, shut up, bro.
No, it's even worse though. It's being called racist at the same time them telling you they're not called.
By the way,
racist.
Since we have a lot of people in our chat, go ahead and if you have a question about, I guess, specifically the tribal, but also just the episode in general, or just the season in general.
Why did Dre have to do this to me?
Hold on. You can put it in the chat with a question mark at the end, and we'll answer it as they fly by. Speaking of questions, this person says, how do you feel about Marianne playing her idol? I feel like they kind of give credence to what they're. I feel like it kind of gives credence to what they're saying. Taking the game out of it, they were trying to use race at it and trying to not use race. Yeah, I will say, if they did this and then bluffed and didn't play their idol, I might actually have stopped watching the season just for a second and taken a break and turn off the episode. If they bluff this after all that crying and crocodile tears and, oh no, it's because of unconscious or invisible whatever, and then they bluffed it, that would be very, very, very bad. It's still bad. But I do respect them for pulling a Ben Drieberg and at least playing them and not using it, because they were at least self-aware enough, or at least more self-aware than Shan and Liana to realize that, or I feel like it's kind of hard to come up with a comparison, but I think the best one I can come up with is in 39, when there's like a woke topic that comes up, and then Missy and Elizabeth use it to their advantage by bluffing and then voting out Kelly. And I think they were trying not to be like that and trying to stay away from that, which I can understand, and I appreciate that. It still does not excuse the dumbassery that was just displayed by those two young women, because that's just that was absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it's good on Jonathan for forcing their hand to play. He's like, well, Jeff, if we're gonna vote, they're gonna play their idols right now, right?
They didn't even vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired of this. Also, whenever some giant social thing happens, this or the Varner thing, Like Jeff changes the rules of Survivor. We vote in public now.
I hate that. I hate
Yeah,
that.
it's even if they did that, even if they all said we're gonna vote Tory, they still should do it anyway because they could be lying. You know, it's like
Nothing changes. You still go vote, and then you play like. What's this whole changing the rules?
It's probably just them being lazy and not wanting to do it in the cold. Like
no, it's not. It's Jeff trying to make this a moment. And this is this isn't the same thing. This is like
it's a different tribal. It's a different one.
This is a big moment. We got to do this in the open.
It's a different.
Dude, Drea, why'd you have to do this to me, bro? Oh my god, it's like
it's the woke are loving this. It's also Tory going out.
Drea betrayed me, dude. It's Olivia Rodrigo-san.
So this is a perfect point. Dana H, great point. So now, just if anyone targets Marianne and Drea, I mean, the pattern is still there. It may not be in a row.
That's what I'm saying. Jonathan's in a winning situation.
Maybe it's not a royal flush, but it's still a flush. I mean, it's still there. The pattern is still there. So at what point is it no longer immoral or quote unquote problematic to vote you out, Marianne? At what point is it no longer immoral or problematic to vote you out, Drea? Come on, like this is obviously you're using this for your own gain in the game. They can claim all they want that this is a personal problem to them, and maybe it is, but they're using it for their gain. They would not have brought this up if it was the other way around, 100%.
Well, this plays super well coming off a season where it just happened about.
Right.
The whole. I also love the whole guys alliance is misogynist, but when
right.
When a girl does it, it's empowering.
A group of one race comes together and it's not racist.
Ooh, bro, this season actually, I thought it was gonna at least be decent, bro.
Oh my god, that's actually crazy.
Once you go woke, you stay woke. They weren't taking.
That's true.
They were just holding back.
You don't come back.
This is Survivor now. They're never gonna get rid of this crap.
I gotta say,
once you buy into this philosophy,
I gotta say, Bitter has been consistently right about this. He has consistently kept his guard up. Me and Sky let ours down once again, and we got an absolute pile of shit all over our face.
Said I was gonna. I never was the one saying, guys, according to a source, Russell's source, it's gonna be the best movie season ever existed.
Well, I mean, that was not my source; that was Russell's source, but that's okay.
Dude,
the point that I'm making is that it just we literally gave the show a second chance. We're saying clean slate, it's all good, just don't do it again. And they went a good 8 episodes with very minor blimps, nothing ridiculous. And then, male alliances are misogynistic, but, the Black Widow Brigade is badass. Then it's, that if you vote out me, then you're racist because you're creating a pattern, and that's problematic. Then it was, listen, Jonathan, I love you, but you don't understand this racism. It's actually invisible. You have to shine blue light on it, and you can see it. And then it's just on and on and on. And this is building up from last season, which had all this terrible stuff as well, where it's you're so eloquent, Deshaun, and all these. Oh my god!
I mean, at least we had someone that stood up against it.
Do you think if they seen last season, they do this whole it's racist thing?
Yeah,
they probably do it even harder.
If they do it even, that'd be even worse. You saw that what happened last season, and you still think you're being targeted.
I mean, yeah, it's like welcome to Survivor 42, where you can race bait people to win. Have fun,
the best strategy is to say, "Hey, that's racist."
No, the best strategy is to not be white. It's the best strategy to not be white. You're golden, bro.
Anytime I make a mistake and you want to vote me out for, that's racism.
Yeah.
So, what's Jonathan's best play here? Is it to just stay quiet, or is it
stay quiet?
No,
stay quiet.
No, because he's not gonna win.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's not going to either way. So
stand up for yourself. At least keep your dignity.
Agreed. He's not in a good enough spot strategically and socially to win the game at this point.
I don't know if he's.
But yeah, true. But if he did know that, and us knowing that, definitely in hindsight, the best move was to stick up for himself, because he's obviously not winning the game, especially after this edit to this episode. There's no way he goes and wins. I would say. Definitely the best choice for him was to just stick up for himself. As tough as it is to say, because he has no shot to win at this point. It's just so disappointing because I can't say I necessarily expected Survivor to do different, but I was definitely hoping that we would not do the CNN racial discussions at Tribal for an hour. Literally
they canceled CNN Plus, but I guess Paramount Plus is the new CNN Plus.
Right, yeah. I don't know. It's It's just disappointing, and I think Survivor's is going to see a huge ratings dip. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I would bet a lot.
I
of
hope
money,
it does.
I would bet a lot of money that we're going to see at least a loss.
I mean, like,
let's say 200,000 viewers gone. That's my prediction. The ratings come out like Thursday, Friday, something
They come
like
out
that.
tomorrow.
So,
Tomorrow, I think.
I just wanna say,
tomorrow afternoon. So
I mean,
we'll check it out.
This isn't like production's fault; it's like casting's fault. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the ratings won't
disagree.
drop from this episode. They would drop from next.
From next episode.
Right, exactly. So so you have to like 8 days. But it's tough to pinpoint somebody because I think you do have to include this, especially because I mean we don't know how this affects the strategy, but even then, like this is a gigantic part of it's a gigantic part of the season and definitely of this tribal. I mean, the whole strategy for this tribal was based upon them playing their idols early, and now everything's switched up, and now it's shot in the dark, blah blah blah. So I can't really be mad at the editors. As much as I want it, like as much as
but the editors are the one adding that music.
Hold on. I can't really blame the whole thing on Jeff either, because although he's annoying and although he perpetuates it,
all right,
it's going to happen with or without his egg on, and I really can't blame it on casting either, because this is not a bad cast at all.
But they casted a bunch of woke people,
right? I mean, I would just say that's going to happen anyway, because that's every other TV show in the entire world.
I know, but I'm saying this: if casting didn't do that, then this wouldn't be happening, right?
Agreed. I think if there is anyone to blame, you're right. It's probably casting. It's just tough to put the blame on one thing, because the easiest thing when we see a problem, just in everyday life, is to blame it on something. Because when you have blame, you have a reason, and therefore you have a solution. And right now it sucks because I have no solution, no reason, no blame.
Get these racist white people off the cast.
It's the show in general,
right? But I would like to be able to pinpoint a specific thing. It's just tough because I can't.
CBS.
Yeah, we need to do what
I disagree. I mean,
just the exact opposite.
CBS is casting this group of people. So CBS is the one playing the uplifting music every time race gets involved.
There's way too much blame to go around to just put it on CBS.
Well, CBS as a whole has done the casting thing. It's not just Survivor, isn't it? Big Brother too. It's probably all the.
They implemented the diversity.
Maybe even
quota.
The sitcoms. It's on CBS. It's like this now.
You guys don't. Survivor wants this to happen. They wanted what happens tonight to happen.
I know. Like, honestly, it's like the best thing to happen to Survivor now is for it to do terrible. I feel it's like I
would love if the ratings drop like 500,000. I think it's at least 100,000. My safe prediction is 200,000, and my estimate in real life is probably more like 300,000. I would love to see these ratings just dip, so Jeff can really see, because I feel like last season, the whole season was just terrible, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint. But I think, especially after I mean, is this worse than the stuff last season? I feel like this is the worst one to me, just because of the crying and the attacking Jonathan.
It feels worse because it came after it happening. Before.
I think it feels worse because Jonathan
worse.
actually tried to stick up for himself, and then they just like bullied him.
Well, that made it feel better to watch.
For me,
it
that
felt
made
worse
it feel,
to watch because no one was defending themselves.
I disagree. For me, that was more painful to watch, because that's someone who I'm thinking like, and then they just get attacked and they get emotionally, I guess, manipulated into staying quiet. For me, that was more painful to watch than last season, where everyone was just like, "Oh, you're so eloquent," blah blah blah, because that's just BS.
It was more painful to watch Xander be a little wimp, and
for me, it was
agree with it, and then get 0 votes at the end. I'd rather watch Jonathan stand up for himself, because he's not going to win anyway. I don't want to watch another Xander happen.
I agree, but it also just sucked to see your boy in the fight just get like basically just like they're like, listen, you literally cannot have
man in the trenches with us. Yeah.
You really cannot have an opinion because of your demographic. I mean, it's textbook racism, and it's sad that they don't seem to see it. Do we think that Survivor is going to do this again next season? Again?
Depends on how bad if the ratings stay the same or they go up, then no way.
Because last season
it stays the same.
Because it is tough, because I really can't blame the editors, because they have to show this 100%.
Yeah, but you don't have to play uplifting
music.
Music.
To show it positively, because these are the people that stay. I disagree.
I mean, the CBS probably tells them how to edit certain things.
Right. I think there's no way.
And if not, then yeah.
Hold on. Pause. There's no way that you put cuckoo music over this tribal.
You don't have to put any music over it.
Well, I'm being facetious.
You could be neutral about it.
In what way?
Just you don't tell the audience what they should be feeling. If they're just you don't play uplifting music when Jonathan's giving his speech, right? So do the same thing when Marianne's giving hers.
I agree.
Show what happened on the show. Don't tell us how we're supposed to feel.
Music. Well, I think it's also separate. I think music in general is super important as far as the vibe. You'd be surprised how boring Survivor is without music. What God?
Just look at it through movies. Movies tell you when you're supposed to be sad. They play sad music. So you're sitting there, and then they're Marianne's going through a whole thing, and then you hear uplifting music. You're like, that's gonna make you start feeling, yeah, she's right.
I mean,
but then if you just play like just
didn't
normal...
convince me. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, I mean, but like the NPCs or
NPCs.
This is great.
I don't know. I like to move on. Just not like to a different topic, but just like
oh my God,
from this specific topic of Jonathan getting.
I feel like I should say something on Twitter that's probably like really rude and kind of out of pocket, but Zach just like on his Twitter said, "So proud of my wife," and I just want to like say your wife's ugly in the comments or something like that. But I mean,
yeah, just say it on the podcast.
No,
we
can't stoop. We can't.
I can.
I'll fight fire with fire.
Yeah,
that's how you lose by not fighting with the same weapons they're fighting.
Exactly. The way you fight racism is more racism, according
to all the woke of past survivors are coming out to defend the trash. It started. Jonathan got one bad edit, and here come all the crazies.
People like, guys, I'm gonna be honest, I don't like Jonathan that much. I think he is mad because he said something that is mad. So.
Don't you love people could say white guy with dreads as like a derogatory term to make someone's opinion not count? That people just say that and think that they're the ones in the right. It's crazy.
I'm just really
frustrated. And a good example of a cuck is Zach.
I mean, most Survivor players is a good example of it.
And again, I always like to try and at least make it a little bit positive.
There's no positivity here.
I know that you guys may not be trying to do that, but I'm gonna do it because it is my show. So I'm gonna try and like lead off these last maybe 15 minutes of this podcast. Let's try and figure out how Survivor gets back on track and what needs to happen as far as in their control and out of their control.
We can say all we want, but they're not going to listen.
So here's what I think. First of all, this episode needs to do terrible. We need to lose at least 500,000 viewers, if not like at least 300,000 viewers.
Way more than that. You got to lose way more.
Well, the biggest episode loss ever is like 300,000, I think. Like
I'm talking about like in like the whole season at the end.
Oh yeah, no. I agree. And I think at this point, the best thing for the future of Survivor is for this whole season to suck from now on. But I guess the Survivor fan in me would like the season to still be good. But I think for like if we're talking long-term success and like long-term not being woke, the best thing is if this season just absolutely tanked from here on. Lost all of its viewers. We like end the season with like 2 million.
Oh, dude, that'd be great.
That would be the best case scenario.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
because they're already renewed for the next 2 seasons, right?
Right. So then, like, it's right. So it's not like the end of the show, and even then, with 2 million viewers, they're still like third or fourth for like the best TV show on CBS because nobody watches TV anymore. So it's not like they go off the air because of that. Second, you need to see enough people on. Well, it's tough though because on Twitter it's always gonna be a left bias.
Not anymore. Elon's here, baby.
Yeah, thank you, Elon. Thank you, Elon.
Twitter's fun again.
So
I can make fun of people.
So
Elon, please help me. Save me.
So after this episode tanks, the next thing that needs to happen is that we need to see 43 and 44 shift. And what CBS needs to see is these ratings before 43 and 44 start filming. And I haven't read any articles that have said that filming is starting soon. So I'm hopeful that they didn't start yet. They're going to see this. And of course, while they're out there, it really won't change anything. But maybe Jeff won't try and egg this stuff on as much if he sees how much people really hate this stuff. I mean, these like people who like they like actually think the average American agrees with these crazy radical politics. But when you lose half the viewers on the show, like over a season, it shows you, hey, like most people don't think like this. Most people aren't crazy. And so I think the next thing that needs to happen is for this season to tank. And then after that, you need 43 and 44 to be a direct reaction to these seasons. They need to take everything that they did wrong in these seasons and toss it out. Never bring it back. Never tried again with a different context or with a better cast. No, it needs to be gone completely.
They're gonna
after that.
I mean, they're not gonna do that. But...
Yeah, I agreed.
They probably already casted a bunch of left-leaning.
Agreed. Definitely. After that, well, okay. So after 43 and 44, what? Well, I'm trying to think like what.
The show doesn't exist.
No, do we? If it continues like this, I'm fine with that.
Like, is the show ending? Like gonna be a wake up call for CBS to be like, hey, our best show that we've ever had,
literally,
just ended.
This is the best show. I mean, I guess Friends is the other big one, but even then,
no.
The biggest long term, definitely the biggest long term show ever, and they beat out Friends as well. Definitely their biggest show ever. Their biggest success in the history of their entire network is about to go to absolute shambles because they want to preach on a soapbox about their terrible politics. Pick one.
I mean,
CBS. Hold on. Are you going to put food on the table, or are you going to keep making the show, or keep doing the woke stuff? To me, it's like they can preach from a soapbox, or they can keep their jobs. And if they want to keep their jobs, if they want to keep this going, they need to stop right now. Carson donated $5. He says the difference between this and Zeke is that Drea used it as a tool. Jeff used it as an attack, while Drea used it as a weapon for her own game. Thanks for $5, first of all.
We spend the money, right?
I mean, I agree that Drea used it as a strategy. I don't respect her strategy because no white player can defend against it. It's not fair.
I guess Carson, the biggest thing, and if you want to answer back, we'll make sure to answer you right back. My biggest thing is that I'm not really concerned with like how Dre did his game wise. Again, for me, I said it earlier. These guys did kind of disagree with me on that. I personally think in the game it was a fantastic move. But for me, I'm not coming on this podcast as like as a game bot. The guy who's I'm known as the guy who just like I'm literally a robot. Like what can I say? But to me, this has nothing to do with that. It's all about the emotional and the moral and the political side. And anyone who dares to say something stupid like, Spencer, well, why are you getting political? You're being so hypocritical. That's literally what we just said. That you're going after them for. Yes, that's the whole point. If they're going to get political, if the show that I'm covering, that I get paid money to cover, is going to get political, of course my channel is going to get political. It's the most basic and obvious logic. And to me, it's very, very frustrating because I did have faith in the season, and I still do to an extent for the game. But it's just very, very frustrating because it seems like we're going to get more of the same. Even if this is a one-off episode, it's still, for me, gonna leave that taint on the season, similar to the Erica hourglass thing, where like I feel like last season, no matter what happened, the fact that like one, Erica won, but then also two, the just overall the hourglass twist, which we didn't really know about yet, and we got surprised with it. That left kind of a weird taint on the season. And this, to me, even if it's a one-off thing and the rest of the season has no woke stuff, it's still, to me, going to be a taint on the season. That's my personal opinion. If you guys want to give some takes, I'm going to go through, find some questions from the chat. Then we'll do LVP, MVP, and we'll get out of here and try and forget all about this.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. I hate when people say, oh, why are you talking about the politics? It's in the episode. People, what do you expect?
It's bad politics.
You would be fine if we were like, wow, powerful. That was so powerful.
Right. It was so eloquently spoken.
Right.
One could say.
You'd be like, yes, queen, say it more. That's what you'd be doing.
I love all the people saying like, it's good that these two brave men stood up to a sexist alliance. It's like, okay, then are you willing to admit that like if a guy's alliance is misogynist, is like all women's alliance misandry? And of course they're gonna say no. They're gonna say no, it isn't. It's like I love it. Like women are okay, I'm just gonna sound sexy. Women are always like, it's different. It's like, no, it's not.
Well, it's always okay. Well, I'm gonna accuse you of something. Then when you come back with facts and logic and you're frustrated, I'm gonna say, whoa, calm down. It's actually all about this invisible stuff that you can't see and that you need to look through a telescope and put it upside down and then like lose 100 IQ points to see it. Like it's like when are you gonna show me some tangible evidence to back up your claims? Because to me, it's like it's all about feelings to me. At least this is what I'm seeing. If someone wants to personally reach out to me, go ahead. I'm on Twitter. You could look up Survivor Spencer. I'm sure you can find me. If someone wants to personally reach out and try and give me a genuine argument, if you want to donate it, well, I'll read it. To me, I don't understand. I don't understand. I haven't received an argument yet that didn't involve screaming, yelling, accusations, and overall just childlike actions. And I think this episode was a perfect example of that. On that note, who is our LVP? I would say I would say Jonathan definitely comes out of this episode the LVP. Despite the
I really want to say Marianne or Drea because
you guys can give them LVP.
I would strongly disagree. I would strongly disagree that Marianne or Drea would be. I think if anything, they're what's the word? MVPs coming out of this episode again. I'm putting my emotions to the side, which are running high, obviously. For what's it's so obvious.
I mean, like when do we cross
Jonathan
the line
had
when it comes to strategy? It's like.
Well, I mean, this is about strategy. It has nothing to do with politics. It's all about strategy. That's the point.
But the game is about politics, social politics.
No, it's not.
It has been, always will be.
I think it's fine.
It's about strategy.
Do whoever you want. I'm not.
That's fine.
If it was up to me, I'd give the whole CBS and Survivor the LVP.
Oh God.
I'm gonna.
I don't really want to give one. You can.
That's fine. I'll be the sole voter. I'm voting Jonathan as the LVP. Purely off the game. And then MVP, I would say I don't think it's Drea or Marianne. I mean, obviously Marianne, funny. And then Drea, I think she was too much. I think it's going to come back on her. Also, her edit is so cold and ruthless that there's just no way. I think it has to be like maybe Omar because he did blindside like Rocksroy and get his way.
These people keep full. I'm sorry.
You gotta love Rocksroy, trust in Omar, like all the gay guys that do it all men's alliance. You should have known that's gonna backfire. And I appreciate the effort, Rocksroy, but that was never gonna work.
Is Rocksroy based for this? Like,
oh yeah, for sure. I would love to see what he would have said if he was on this tribal. With he
probably would have folded. I think he would have folded.
Probably would have.
I'm kidding. Like these people keep folding, bro. I've like quote replied or whatever, like 2 tweets, maybe like these stupid lefters, and then like a second later, it's like tweet unavailable. It's like, bro, stop folding. Man. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Andy Herron quote tweeted me, and then he deleted it right away.
Yeah, and this freaking girl on Twitter named Heather who has like the worst takes ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Biggest
about?
locale.
She blocked me. Oh, let's go.
I haven't said anything to her yet because I don't want to get blocked so I can see her dumbass tweets.
I have multiple accounts. You fool. I have 73 accounts.
While you were studying Survivor, I was creating multiple alt accounts.
Funny.
All right. Is that our LVP and MVP? Is there any questions in the chat? Like last call before we get out of here and just try and forget all about this episode. Put a question mark at the end of it. I'm gonna go back and look for question marks while we do this.
I'm really questioning continue watching Survivor the rest of the season.
Yeah,
I'm not here for this.
Yeah.
Why? Okay. Oh, it's actually a pretty good one. Why wouldn't Lindsay also play her shot in the dark? That's
because she knew Tori was going.
Well, no, I mean, but it is smart to play her shot in the dark at that point, especially since like at this point, no one's gonna play their shot in the dark again in the game ever. So, I mean, I think it's probably smart of her, and also because they expire at 6. So, she should have played it. I agree. She should have.
Do you think Jonathan goes home tonight if he didn't win?
I think so.
Definitely. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Who's on his tribe?
All the women.
Oh no, all the women.
I think Marianne would have kept him for later, and I think obviously Lindsay's his main ally. I think he doesn't go home. And anyway, I think Tori honestly, I think Drea probably goes home if Jonathan. I don't know. It's Drea or Tori or Lindsay, but it's not Marianne and it's not Jonathan. It's tough though. It's tough.
I think they just are like big scary man, big white scary man.
I am interested to see how this plays out with the rest of the tribe. It's probably gonna be
Yeah.
like, that was very
Do you
brave of
think
you,
people are
Drea.
gonna be like, guys, guess what? Jonathan is a racist. Let's vote.
Do you
him out."
think Dre is going to steal Mike's idol next tribal? I could see that. I think Dre and Mike don't really have a connection like that. And Dre knows about Mike's idol at this point,
know.
and I think it was really
Drea-
dumb. I think it was really dumb of Marianne to
Imagine if she
declare her
steals
idol
the other
there.
black girl's idol. That'd be funny.
Well,
That's
remember
like all the
Marianne
black people get
played.
voted out back to back.
Well,
That'd be
hold
kinda
on,
funny.
bitter. Remember, Marianne played her idol in,
Oh,
in
yeah, shit,
solidarity. Yeah.
Sorry,
Hated it.
Wait, does
sorry, I
Marianne have
stopped
any
paying
other-
attention to the episode once it went.
Does Marianne have
nuts.
any other advantage?
How are you gonna use race as a weapon and then lose, bro? Like, and then play your
Well,
idol?
it
You're an
happened.
idiot.
It literally
You're an
happened
idiot.
last season.
It's like, guys, I need to do this not because I'm trying to make this about race, but because I
I'm trying to make this about race. Like, bro, like, okay.
So she said,
All right.
she said, I'm not going to vote for Drea because of her race. 2 seconds later, oh my god, I'm not going to vote. This isn't about race, guys. Oh my god. Shut
All right, guys.
up.
Well, if this podcast isn't evidence enough, no matter what happens during the episode, we will always be here to, give it to you straight and give our honest opinions, and we'll never turn and be corporate and sugarcoat it. That's just not us. So
Corporate.
thank you guys for the continued support, watching, doing all that good stuff.
I will be making a video about this.
I'll be making a video too on Survivor.
I'll
as
be
well.
making tons of videos. You can expect tons and tons of videos.
So
We
you
have
actually
so
will
much
vote for
fun
this.
this week with the videos. Yeah. And you guys have anything to plug before we go?
So
all the
Whatever,
woke
dude.
idiots running amok in the Survivor community. I'm gonna get you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, and also if you're on Jonathan's side and you're getting attacked on
I
Twitter
stand
for your
Jonathan.
opinion and stuff like that, don't feel like you're alone, because there are other people out there who have common sense and know that this is absolutely ridiculous, that someone's being voted out, and that this is somehow a systematic problem. It's ridiculous. So on that note, that's it. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.